You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn. You're listening to Santos Bonacci live on Syncretism, here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. As above and so below is the holy science you need to know, astrotheology, because now it's our turn.
Hey, and good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box /Syncretism / Your Reality. I love it. For those that are new to the table, I'm Kate of Gaia. Yes, what a voice for a girl, eh? Unbelievable. Anyway, you should try it out sometime. Anyway, Santo's not here yet, but I have added him to the call. He can join at any time. But I do have Michael, and we were having a chat on the earlier show today on criticalmassradio.co.uk. So, I might be able to tease Mark in here, who was on the show as well earlier today, and let's all play host, shall we? Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Aloha. Yeah, wonderful. Great.
Yeah, it's friggin'
at the table.
Yeah, I put some batteries in my mouse. That seems to have solved one of the issues anyway. So there you go. I can actually mute and unmute a little bit quicker now. You know, that's a problem with batteries. They do wear out. But anyway.
I think it's a lot of joy coming to the table.
Oh, yeah. And given where we're at right now, and this is really the only place I want to focus on, because I'm not sure if we brought this up earlier today, but there's a very critical reason why we don't bring any sort of literal drama to this table. If anything from the literal comes to this table, it is shared allegorically. Right. Here, let's touch on something tonight that I think is worthy of touching on again to try to illustrate the spiritual versus literal, okay, the physical. And, you guys have heard me on countless occasions talking about opt and all the rest of the carrot-waving aspects to see if the spiritual intent can still be captured into a physical, literal reality that somehow the effect is the cause, which it's quite backwards. So let me give you a little overview. I'll pick on opt because I like picking on them the most, actually. They're fun, right? Headed up by a lawyer. So that was the first red flag. But anyway, people can talk about, opt shut down the banks and caused foreclosures and go on to all this literal nonsense. And all the while, they'll miss the whole spiritual intent of the game. You see, when you understand what money is, it is captured intent. That's why it's called currency. So what it is the spiritual energy that when we flow to it, we energize it. We give it our life force. And because it's a representation of the spirit and physical, in which master are you going to serve? And if you serve it literally, you're owned and you're staying in a physical game, and that's okay. You can do that. Not my reality, but I'm sliding out of that particular one for those that are still stuck in it that will not be party to what I'm working towards, and they're most welcome to. But what I saw with opt, of course, came out right in line with the invocation of the cross. So I saw that as a physical manifestation. New eyes now, more so than back then. I was still looking at things quite literally, knowing the spiritual aspect, but not able to really understand it and define it and share it the way we do now, because this is a new lateral timeline. So when things, from my perspective, coincide with things in the physical, what I look for now, because this game is all about me, and that's what everyone has to learn to say. This game is all about you. It really is. And when you get that, you'll understand what I'm saying. And there's nothing selfish in that, because I don't know about you, but it's very hard for one to be selfish. Right? You don't have a concept of it because you have everything. How can you be selfish? You are everything. Right? That's just not a plausible scenario in a oneness state. Selfish and selfless can only exist in a duality state. So for me, I come back to the singularity. So getting back to the coincidence of coincidence, yeah, getting back to the coincidence, it depends how you pronounce it, right? Of my sending out the invocation of the cross, December 24th, 25th, and 26th of 2012. Opt came out in mainstream on December 25th. So you can stay caught up in the literals, thinking that somehow a physical literal thing created a physical literal effect, and it did. But that's where it stays if you stay there. So what I try to do is show you the spiritual intent behind it from my perspective, as only I can share it from my perspective. I am you and I'm not you at the same time, right? So that's what it means to be I am and I am not. That's the Aries. That's when you get to the real high ground. So it's like this. My intent when I put that out was all about recapturing of the divine feminine essence that was registered, right, to rule over. So claiming that back was, and always has been, the drive of what I do in this particular role of that I play in your movie. So I just saw that as, now I can look back at it in a contrast and see the spiritual intent that created that physical manifestation, which only further proves the shifting of realities and how much power we all wield individually. And I really want to touch on that tonight, Michael, as far as the I Dream of Genie consciousness game and the Larry Hagman master, because I think
a quick one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just reading, somebody shared it, and it was from Bringers of the Dawn, Barbara Messiniak, and she's sharing it again, that to have a child, to become pregnant, it's all spiritual intent. Right there. It wasn't you just hooking up with some guy randomly, I got pregnant. No, there was spiritual intent involved. Remember. And when we have that, remember that it was our spiritual intent to have a child. Women were always conscious of that before, and will become conscious of that again.
Beautiful point. What you're talking about there is the purest form of the divine feminine, creating creation with the masculine intention within. And yeah, you're exactly right. You see, the whole idea of copulation, male-female, sperm, egg getting together, is a physical manifestation of what we do anyway. What's happened there is this whole notion of creation and intention has been separated. So that's the original, for me, the original sin, divide, and conquer, in that we can experience ourself from a duality perspective, where we've separated our creational womb with our intentional penis, if you will. This is one, for me, this is one of the main reasons why you see so many penises around the planet in the form of obelisks. Right? These are all symbols, but they're symbols in a literal sense if you accept that. I look at them from a magnetic electric, a me perspective, only a me perspective. Do you see how critically important it is, the phonics, and understanding how easy it was to first program us? When we did it to ourselves, this is the game. So lose the vengeance. You're only beating yourself up. It's so easy to program a literal reality into a freshly born point of consciousness that comes here wiped clean, right? All former memories in that consciousness are all still there, but they're out of sight. They've been moved into the Garden of Eden, where all potentials and all possibilities are in the able right hemisphere. So yeah, that's exactly it. And it's funny you say that. What a coincidence. Because I have talked about that on previous shows, actually years ago. The female, and that's what we all start out as. Female can self-procreate, and it's happened countless times. It happens all the time. This supposed immaculate conception, but contained within the female body are all the tools required to inseminate their own egg. And this is what divine creation for me is all about. Being able to give birth to your own ideas, to give birth to your own intentions, and you keep it all within. So let's go into I really want to share this because I touched on it a bit last night, and I'm going to go over it again tonight because I really want to get this clear. And you guys had mentioned earlier today about doing videos and what have you, which definitely is something that is on my list of things to do. Because I was talking with Mike here as well, that some people learn by experience, by doing, others learn by listening, and others learn by visuals, right? So we definitely want to cover all the gauntlets on this, and it's one of the beautiful things about the programming of school is that it separates all of those things in order that you may experience a game. So if you can look at something from both sides, all right, you came here to play a game. I think we can all agree with that. So the whole point of existence is to have a game, purpose, and play, right? But we cannot have a game until we have a contrast, until we have something that enables us to have that game. And what a movie script, what a drama we have here on Earth, okay? And there's infinite other worlds, potentials, other points of view everywhere in this universe and of the mind, having different experiences, because that's all we do as consciousness, experience ourselves. And what we're doing at this table is slowly climbing, I wouldn't say slowly anymore, but we're climbing Jacob's ladder of consciousness, where the magic daily becomes more and more visible. So let's get to the I Dream of Jeannie, because I really want to, because I love that show. Barbara Eden, oh my God, and of course Larry Hagman, another beautiful man. But I got to tell you, the whole story about I Dream of Jeannie, what made it a comedy was what we're actually playing in right now. So I can prove that this world is a comedy. All right, it's really easy. You see, Larry Hagman, as an astronaut, Air Force guy, ended up landing with his capsule. You see it in the intro. It's all in the intro. Thanks, Steve, for reminding me of the intro. And he found the bottle. He found Jeannie's bottle. Now, that is the well of consciousness that we all have access to. Okay? Every one of us has access to that well. It is infinite in every potential, every possibility, and it is where we can pull all things. That's the wishing well. And every thought is a seed that you throw into that well. I didn't say some thoughts. I said every thought. So if you have constant literal thoughts that you are casting into the absolute well of creation, then you will get the same manifestation in the literal, only a little bit more degraded. Because if you're trying to solve the problem using the same technique over and over and over again, expecting a different result, you're insane. And that's what the literal world does in order for us to have a downward spiral effect. So we can experience the angels going up the ladder and the angels coming down the ladder, as so aptly described in Jacob's ladder story, okay? The dream that he had, where he saw the face of God, and he called that place Peniel. That's the Bible, by the way. They don't teach you that in Sunday school, I don't think, anyway. But here we have Jeannie, who, as the ever-giving, always wanting to please her master, that's you, Larry Hagman, that's you. We're all Larry Hagmans here, okay? She would do everything and anything he wanted, that he wished for. And every episode was about something that Larry, I forget what his name was in the show, but what Larry Hagman wanted, Jeannie would overhear him, and then because she didn't understand the full intent of what he really meant, she would manifest exactly what he wanted in the very utmost literal way. And it was always a comedy to try to fix it. And that's what we're here doing. We are all the Larry Hagmans casting our wishes out all willy-nilly, not thinking that the genie can hear us, because Jeannie typically, the only time that Jeannie wouldn't manifest something for him was when he was directly in contact with her, talking to her, says, no, I don't want that. No, he would make it very clear. But as soon as she would, say, leave the room and overhear something that he said, she would take it upon herself to grant that wish. And remember, the genie will always tell you, your wish is my command. And that's what every thought is. This is why you need to get a grip on reality. Everything literal is the illusional movie. And if we are drawing things, seeds from Cain, this is Cain. Abel is Jeannie. The earth, the physical, is the Larry Hagman. Okay? So what if you're drawing from the Cain mind, the literal physical world, to make your wishes, what are you actually doing? Well, you're taking a broken calculator and you're still trying to calculate the same things, and you'll go in a spiral, and you will continue to go down until you finally wake up to what it is we share at this table, and then oh, wait a minute, then you put the brakes on, and then you start climbing. Or not. It's entirely up to every point of consciousness. I'm not here to trespass on anybody. You see, I'll give you an example. I've been asked, well, why are you, doing your shows outside? Well, one, because I love being out here, because I've got this beautiful fire in front of me right now. Yeah, it's cold, but I got a fire. I'm golden, right? So it's beautiful. But I'll tell you, the main reason why I'm out here, and I didn't always have this option, was because where I'm at is I don't want to impose on other people's space for 2 or 3 hours, where it has to be silent. That's very, very well, to me, that's rude. That would be rude of me to expect that. That would be very selfish as far as I'm concerned. So I always look for the win-win. Now, we got a few puppies running around here, and it can get rather noisy, right? So here's the blessing and the curse at the same time. It's beautiful. So what I do then is, I can't be around that because I get knocked off the downloads very easily, because it's always tenuous at best. These are the ether connects, right? And I have to be in a very, very calm state of mind, literally silence around me, where all I am hearing is my own voice, unless we're talking, of course, Michael. So it's a win-win. So for me, I get my solitude, and I'm not imposing on others. You see, so it works out perfectly. You got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. And most of us on this planet, myself included for many years, have been walking around here like spoiled little brats. I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want... Yeah, okay. How's that work for you? Again, it's just an experience. We are children. I watched August Rush last night. I think I mentioned that earlier today. Mike, yeah?
I must have missed that part. Is that with the boy who was looking for his parents?
Yeah, prodigy child, musical child. That if you want a perfect representation of everything that I'm talking about right now, that's the movie to watch. You see, I say in the now moment, of course it has to be R-A-R, August Rush, right? It's brilliant, because at the end of the movie, if you want proof that there's an incredibly awesome ending to the movie, that's the timeline we're shifting to. If you want proof of that, then all you have to do is watch that movie. At the very end, for those that haven't seen it, oh well, doesn't matter. Stop being entertained. Start looking at it from a different perspective. It's beautiful to be it's entertaining on so many levels, and so eloquently educating spiritually on infinitely more levels. At the very end of the movie, the child is conducting a concert orchestra, playing a piece that he wrote because he's a prodigy, and his parents that had been separated from each other, and of course from the child, all three had been separated, at the last moment of the movie come together as all of the fates intertwine to bring them there. And lo and behold, there's mom and dad. They hadn't seen each other since, they only met one night, and they hadn't seen each other since. And there they are standing hand in hand, and the little boy, who always had faith, never lost his faith. That's the little child. Oh, the spoilt child is the Robin Williams character, who Robin plays a brilliant job doing it. But you start seeing the childish ego and all of that energy around that. But at the last scene of the movie, the child turns around and he sees both his mom and dad, and everything, a twinkling of an eye, is culminated. That's why all is well. All is well. That's the faith of the inner child. We just have to find the inner child. That's what we are finding. And we're getting to that point now, and you're seeing it manifest daily. I know all of you are. I get too many people contact me saying, wow, this, you're seeing it. And people are saying, yeah, I'm seeing it. It's absolutely stunning.
Kate, I know the movie, and yeah, it brought a few tears to my eyes at the end. And the other reminder is we all know the song.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
All know we're coming every which way.
Yeah. So there was the meeting of the Trinity, the himself, herself, mom and dad, magnetic, electric, and the itself, the child, coming back into the Trinity unity of one. Quite profound. Loved it. And I haven't watched that movie probably since it came out. And I'm putting it off. I've had it in my computer for a long time, but I've been putting it off because I said, I'm not ready for that one yet. So I have to wait until something resonates. And as soon as I heard the word rush a few times yesterday, and I thought, oh, okay, there's my cue. And I take cues from the universe because I'm listening. I'm listening to everything in the now. And I'm understanding more and more how to trust myself, because I, the inner child, have the faith that I know all is well, all will be well. What we're experiencing right now is the contrast in order to have that incredibly blissful moment of all things culminating in perfect unison, so that that would be deemed our ending and our new beginning. That is what it means to be the Alpha and the Omega. There is never an end and there is never a beginning. It's just an ongoing cycle of pure creation and destruction at the same time. I'm just trying to share with people how to finally understand the notions of how to cast the spells where we've been spellbound for so long, and this is part of the game. This is why, when people, and I was there. This is why I know, because I have that contrast. I was angry at the system. Oh yeah, you should see what I was like 28 days into. At 28 days in solitary, I was like, who fucking cares, right? And it took me to get to that who cares moment where of course I'm not going to take any shit from anybody anyway, but that was a very beautiful moment of, I've got nothing to lose, party. And I went to town. My friend Mike did too. We had a great time. It was. I wish that was on video, because it would have made one hell of a court scene, watching a crown attorney, crown prosecutor, and judge, both with their heads down, jaws dropped. The crown prosecutor couldn't look at me because he knew he was committing harm and crime and all the rest of it. He knew that. He was trying to stay to his script. This made it very difficult for those parts of my movie to stay on script. So I knew I was creating the effect. I was being the director, right? So here's the thing. If you are at effect to something, you're the extra. If you are creating the effect, you're the director. You can be the pawn or the king and the queen. Now the pawn, there's lots more pawns on the board, so we're quite willing to, we'll use them to try to break through the other side's defenses, but typically the pawns are the first to get slaughtered, right? I just got tired of being a pawn. Just saying. Pa mind, that's the dog. That's the lower, the dogma instead of the am God, right? So, but very, very profound last few days. And people are starting to get the idea that, yeah, be careful of the seeds you have. This is why it is critically important to shut down the left brain trying to solve things. Because what you're doing is you're trying to solve a broken calculation with a broken calculator. So put the calculator down. Don't worry. All of those calculations are already done. You just have to dip into the well of consciousness and ask. You have nothing to solve. It's all been solved. You have the illusion of needing to solve something. That's all. So enjoy the show. It's quite the show. Or keep screaming at the movie screen. It's entirely up to you. You know, if that's the way this part of me wants to enjoy it, then by all means, I just simply accept all things. And I'm okay with that. I really am. And it's getting easier and better and easier and better, where now all I have to do is just maintain focus on me because I am the universe. Remember, everything I'm saying, you say to yourself, right? There's no separation here. Learn to say, I am the universe because you are. I know, because I am. And once you start really having the faith in that, right? That's the fa of the I in theos, right? Depends on how you pronounce it, right? How you spell it, how you unspell it. That inner child, the perfect child, is within you. It's within me. It's about letting that perfect child, with absolute faith that all will be well, come to the surface of that well. All will be well. Is that a coincidence? No. So this is why if you get into the silence, if you get into self, and that's exactly what I did after the last show, I hit the wall, I just had to lie down. But if you get into the self, into your own universe, and just breathe, stop worrying about anything and everything, just turn it off and listen. You'll hear the music too. I hear it. I hear those chords, those strains of beautiful perfection. And what I'm doing, and all I'm doing, is tuning my ability to hear them clearer and clearer and clearer. So I'm following my song. You, each and every one of you, have a song to sing. You have a road to walk. It will only be you that decides when and if you're ready to walk it. And the first indicator of that road is if you have something you fear, that is something you need to step through. And if you cannot confront your fear, then you keep going circular. And that's why I tell people, the way I did it for me was I just took baby steps. I took the little things that frightened me, and I started dealing with those. And then as I got better and more progressed at handling those fears, the ones, those early fears are laughable now, where that gradient keeps increasing. That the bigger the fear you overcome, then I'll tell you, the next fear after the one you just conquered is only slightly more than the one before. And then the one after that is just slightly more. And then you look back at the one that you were worried about and laugh. This is one of the reasons why I love sharing, letters I send out to sisters. I'm trying to show you how to lose the fear. Think about it. Think back about 10 years ago. I'll use myself as an example. 10 years ago, I would never have dreamed of writing cheeky little letters like I sent yesterday, and will send again today. And I sent it everywhere. It went on the Vatican.com Facebook page. I messaged them. I messaged RCMP, OPP, major newspapers around the world. Just wherever I felt the urge to send it. Posted it direct to the Guelph cops, messaged them through their Facebook, and the mayor through. And listen, you've got Facebook, and so you've got an open door. So everything. And here's the joy of intent, by the way. When you mail it, that means when you intend it, mail, Mail, intention, get it? Okay. When you mail it, it is already contract. It's already deemed contract when the intent goes out. Contract, contrast. When you start to see it from multiple positions, then you really start to see it. So for me, it's about really being tongue-in-cheek. And my intentions are pure, and I know when I send things out, they've got to be balanced in the singularity. So I'll tell you, a bunch of cops rotting in jail or a bunch of cops standing to truth and working for a better world, both versions are a better world. Fact. Both versions are a better world. So that's a singularity intent. That's the kind of intent that I'm constantly looking for. How can I balance it out where if I can put an intention out that creates both the villain and the hero at the same time, the good and the bad, at the same time where it has a good outcome, that's the good singularity that I'm searching for. The more desired. I can't even use good and bad anymore, but the more desired experience. The more blissful experience versus the opposite contrasting experience. And we have to have the opposite contrasting experience in order to understand what bliss is. This is why this is such a beautiful game, and why I worry so much. I don't worry, but I say that lightly. Why people just aren't getting it. That's okay.
Okay,
all right.
Your perspective on that, about why we think people might not be getting it. And because I've tried to talk to quite a few people around me, including my family, and I'm like, you've talked to me about this before. You hear somebody, they speak it back to you, and then you, about a week later or whenever, you go to have that conversation, and it's gone again. And you're like, okay. So what I'm getting at here is, and I'll call it the masses, the majority of us, it wasn't their job, so to say, to necessarily come to this table and envision the world. It was their job to show us this contrast, as you say, play a certain role in our movie to to assist us to be able to, okay, guys, let's do our part in this and bring ourselves to this new reality that we described.
I totally agree. I've got the mics open for Stop Puck Now or Stop PUC No. And also, it looks like I've got Val and or Lori as well.
So that's my reminder. We're close. Don't think about the masses. Oh. They are set. They are right where they are for us to do what we need to do.
Bingo. Everything's perfect. So all the mics are open. Just be mindful of background noises, guys. So we got Lori, or who we got on 773?
Hey, Kate.
Val?
Yep.
Hey, how are ya?
Hi. Good, girlfriend. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I've been a little exhausted these last few days, but that's generally what happens when you expend a ton of intent, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, the meat sticks take a hammering from me,
Yes, they are. Actually, we got some subpoenas coming up.
Nice. So, well, let's share a bedtime story for everybody.
I love it.
Well, let's hear the story. I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited. It's beautiful.
Well, I am too. As soon as it plays out, you'll be the first to know. There's just some feed through the grapevine. Some words they haven't gotten in touch with me, but that's what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, of course. You see, the seeds, this is the timeline lateral shift. You see, this is the whole complete new reality that exists every moment of now that we are moving into. Of course it's going to be there. This is the faith of the inner child. Of course it's going to be there because we're heading to a blissful absolute. We've had enough of the low. We've had enough of the contrast. So, of course our intention is to move to that lateral timeline. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's the now line.
Hey, kid, I got a little analogy. This World Series of Poker where they have so many tables and they get down to the final table. Now, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I've had it quite a few times, and some dimensions I've entered into or some part. And every time I threw down that final hand, guess what they did? They changed the rules. Just like what you share about in the every time you play in the legal fiction. Doesn't matter what the rules are down on paper, they will change it and change it because that's the power of their intent. So we can do the same thing. We do the same thing. What I'm getting at is now we're coming to the final table, and none of those dickheads are sitting here.
Exactly. And I really want to emphasize that. Thank you for bringing that up because I talked about that earlier today. You see, if you're playing in the legal... Oh, somebody's got speakers going. Here, one sec. Let me mute the other calls for a sec. There we go. I'll bring you guys back. Oh, it was Stop Puck now. Okay, I'll bring you back in, Stop. Just give me a second here. But what I was saying earlier today about if you are going to play in the legal fictional world, the Matrix, the Whore of Babylon, Commerce, whatever you want to call it, it's got many, many names. It's a many-headed Hydra, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, if you're going to go in there, of course they're going to change the rules because you're agreeing to play their game. The other side of our consciousness, which is trying to fool our side of consciousness. It's just a contrast game. But here's what they can't do, and neither can you. You can't change the law. You can't change universal law. It is applicable on both sides of the table. So what we're doing now is using the real law, and if you want proof of that, a certain judge bowed to me 3 years ago to prove that. If they could have done anything they wanted to me, they would have, but they couldn't, because there are rules to their game, but more importantly, there are rules to our game. I just chose to stand in those. Far more potent because they're immutable. You can't change them. That's the nature of the game. That's how the game was set up. That these immutable laws could never be broken so that we could never inadvertently destroy ourselves playing this duality game because, think about how many times you've had that thought of destroying entire universes, okay? And you have. We can't do that. It defies all of our immutable laws. So that's a beautiful example of what you just said there, Michael, that you get to the point of the game, well, we've called enough bluffs and those card players have dropped off. And that's exactly what's happening. We're playing a poker tournament of tournaments. So that has those players that just can't bluff as well and can't play as well get knocked off the table. So only true masters of the game can sit and play properly.
Up and co-create beautifully.
Isn't that great? I think it's freaking awesome. That's why I don't concern myself with the, quote, masses, because I'm not going to get lost in the movie anymore. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy all of these multitudes of perspectives in all of my point of view.
Yeah, I love that. And as you remind us, each one of those points from their own perspective is a superstar.
You're all superstars. So Val, jump in again, hon. I want to hear a bit more about what you're doing.
Well, I just heard through the grapevine, and that was pretty much it. Nothing else yet on my end. Of course, I was a little confused with Mike's comment. That wasn't a summons; it's a subpoena. So you're coming in as a witness. You're the only live person in that sea of fiction. To be in regards to what has transpired already.
Well, yeah. Again, when you're talking about subpoena, you're going to subpoena all living souls.
That's correct.
Right. So you want the living in there. Of course, you're going to subpoena them. You don't want to summons them, but
no.
Because the minute that you subpoena them and they bring up ID, they've already declared themselves dead in your court. Then the law of Mark takes over because justice cannot be done in admiralty court. So, and of course, admiralty is all about money. Common law is all about stuff.
Yep. You are right. You are right. So yeah, and it's. Oh, I didn't hear anybody bring up the fact that some news reporter did some left brain stuff in regards to saying that she was investigating some incidences with Freeman. But you're not going to believe it, Kate. You were on there 3 times.
Oh, I believe that because that's how much I scare them. They've still got to try to, tell everybody exactly what I'm not. I'm not a free man on the land. I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm God. So they can put whatever label they want on it. Rose by any other name, still Rose. So you can call this God.
Yeah, they actually showed. Sorry, they actually showed the footage of where the judge bows.
Yeah, but they didn't show the whole thing, did they?
No, they showed 3 clips of it, though.
Yeah, they show the clip with the judge screaming to get me out of there. And every one of the clips is going to be viewed from a favorable position of the system, right or wrong.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's what media does. That's what our game does. But that I look at and go, oh, that's, you could go left brain on and go, oh, the bastards, or I can go, look how scared you are. Good, let's keep the pressure on. I'm enjoying this.
Oh, I knew you'd love it.
You can't rattle my cage. Go for it. I'll turn it around with intent every single time, and I just did. So now that whole intent that we're trying just got nullified like that. Thank you, Genie. No problem, Master. Your wish is my command. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, when did that come out? That's I love being on TV.
I figured you'd love to hear that.
Hey, and I'll tell you what, how many viewers do you think are going to actually go looking for that video and see a whole different show and really get messed up? See, evil destroys itself. That's the original intention. So go ahead, tell me how it's a bad thing. I think it's fucking awesome. Look at all the free promo I'm getting. Oh, yeah, that's totally funny. When did that come out?
That was actually 3 days ago. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I'd love to see it because I love laughing. I really do, and I love seeing how scared a system is, right? And then, of course, it must have the reporter's name on there, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was a female, and she also had Dean on there, and a couple of clips of Dean.
They usually pick on Rob Menard, Dean, and myself. Not so much Rob Menard because Rob's not as high profile as he used to be. And quite frankly, the only ones that they're going to promote are the ones they're most afraid of and the ones that they want the most for people to see. Now, I'm going to give you the black and white of Dean and myself. And no harm to Dean. I love him. Love him to death. Right? I'm going to use the weekend of the event that we were at. I was there on the Saturday, spoke for 45 minutes or an hour on Saturday with Dean. I was there, and I announced it. No, they listen, and I know they're listening right now. Ha, 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 ha. See how stupid this game is? But anyway, if they could have grabbed me, they would have come on Saturday and grabbed both of us. So I'll tell you, the reason why they won't call me for an interview. Oh, fuck no. No, because they know. Right? They won't be on CBC. They already tried that, and actually, I was supposed to go on the CBC major morning show on the Wednesday, and they called me on the Tuesday to say everything was to go and confirmed, and then they called me later on the Tuesday afternoon to say, listen, there's been a problem. We're going to have to reschedule. We'll call you back. I'm still fucking waiting, and that's three years later. Okay. So why would they call Dean? Well, because what Dean is still doing is still trying to work within the legal matrix to keep people trapped. That's what the system. He doesn't want to do that. I know that, or maybe he does. I don't know, but whatever. My feeling with Dean is that no, he is standing in honor and truth for himself, yet still caught in the matrix, still thinking he can solve it. Being a legal name, still holding on to the physical possession aspect of it, still thinking that this place is real, not seeing the movie just yet. So, of course, they're going to promote Dean and interview Dean because Dean's still talking about legal shit. They won't even come near me. I've got 10-foot pole marks all over my body, right? Because of what I represent. So there's my challenge to the whole system. I said, I'll tell you, the instant that mainstream interviews me, and they will, it's because the whole thing is coming down. And we're going to be talking about how it happened and how this reality shifted and how this world became a better place. That's my story. That's going to be his story. You see, every moment we do this, we are creating his story for others to witness. Get it? Bring it to life.
Yep. Got it.
Look how amazing we are. Isn't it crazy? Now, I'm going to open up Stop Puck Now's mic again. Hopefully you're there this time. And there, are you there?
Yeah, I see you, man. Hello?
I can barely hear you, man.
Yeah, I'm here. Nothing?
So what's on your mind?
Well, I did a little hash over of your I won't be named. I don't know if you wanted to hear it.
Sure, whatever.
All right, ready?
Ready. Hold that way.
All right. Okay. There is no reality in reality. There's the maximum law states. Reality is I myself was born alive with my unalienable rights intact, born in the created God's image, an original one of mankind, and given by my blood father and blood mother a living name. This name was created in their thoughts, then spoken and resonated into existence. Reality before it was ever represented into two-dimensional form by putting it to paper. The act of capturing the sound to paper was done so more of an act of innocence than ignorance by my parents. It was the beginning of layers of assumption and presumption placed upon the name by the church and the state. The shucking of my soul from my body and my body of its energy. The name is represented on a certificate of live birth as a lawful name and is registered as an event. After this event, the live birth, another certificate is created. This is the afterbirth certificate. The afterbirth certificate name is in all capitalized letters, such as found on headstones, vessels, and the names of corporations. It is a legal name, a legal person, a legal fiction, etc. The dead fiction not being my identity, not being who I am, can only be used fraudulently to identify myself, and anyone forcing me to use it and such would be perpetrating this fraud upon me. Kunta Kinte and Roots denied the name Toby to his slave master, so they split his flesh and drained his blood with their whip until he took the slave name of Toby. I myself have been kidnapped, threatened, and violent, tortured, injured, extorted from, imprisoned, and coerced into fraudulent contracts for not taking the dead fiction's name. I will not commit suicide to enter into the realm of the dead. Legal fiction, nor shall I myself be crucified and executed into it by others, by their ignorance or knowing. These conditions are present ones, regardless of time tracked by the sun or by the moon. I myself shall not be named by dead fictional slave masters. Blah-de-blah.
Yeah, that should plant some nice seeds.
Yeah, and then I don't even want to give him my blood. I just wrote my DNA and I stabbed it with my thumb.
Yeah, good. It's about the intent that you're putting behind it. And you got speakers going, so I'm getting an echo here.
I got nothing going here.
Oh, it's got an echo. Might be the what?
Might be the fan in the computer.
Oh, could be. Yeah, you sound better now. Yeah, again, this is it's about your intent. And this is the whole thing about awakening. And as I've told everyone before, you cannot make a mistake. You cannot. Everything is perfect in order to get you to that perfect timeline that we're all going through. This is why during the course of our awakening, when we just simply learn to accept all things and have that absolute inner faith of knowing that all will be perfect, that's the tone of music that I'm living in. And that note is getting clearer and clearer every day. And in the twinkling of an eye, I, like the little boy on the stage, August Rush, will turn around and I will have my own gold gust rush. Right? And I will see the culmination of all of the dreams come true. That's how movies end. Remember?
Well, I said Ponto.
Yeah, then we write another one and have some more fun.
That was all there is. Was that Tupac Shakur? Oh no, that was that book? I forget the name of it. This is that, and that is all there is, or whatever it was. What was that book there? The Indian book, Siddhartha.
Yeah, not familiar with it. Not familiar.
It basically says that.
Well, there you go. See, we're all telling the same story anyway, right? At the end of the day, that's what it is. So listen, guys, I was thinking of going to a little musical break. Are you into it?
Yes.
Okay, what can I hear?
Totally.
Any suggestions?
The one that reminds me of New Orleans. The one that you wrote in New Orleans, Bayou Lullaby. Yes.
Bayou Lullaby. There. Okay, well, we'll play that. So here we go. Just wanted to have a little musical interlude to let people zone a bit, and we're want to really calm the energies so the mind isn't chattering quite so much, especially my own. So there you go. So I'll throw that on right now, and because we're coming up top of the hour. Anyway, so this will bring us to the top of the hour. So great big thanks to Paul Giovanni and criticalmassradio.co.uk. Head over if you can handle a subscription or a donate, or just head over and enjoy all the stuff there. Everything there is free anyway, whether you want to partake or not. It's entirely up to you. So truth must be free. Listen, if you're charging for the truth, then what's binding you? That's what I thought too. That's why everything I do is yours, because it always was. So here we go. Bayou Lullaby, just for you.
Hush now softly, can't you hear? Mockingbird, she must be near. She sings her song, the Bayou Lullaby. Misty morning, lazy sun, broken only by the river run. Mississippi River, take me in your arms. Take me in your arms for just another day. Floating by, I can clearly see Baton Rouge to eternity, New Orleans backwards into time. The Delta blues are more than song, broken dreams long lost and gone like a cotton field, laying falling by the wind. But that's the way it is, that's the way it is. The way, friendly smiles enough to say, yeah, it'll be alright, and I don't have to worry none. Friendly word or a passing wave makes southern sense when I'm away, and I'm just glad I'm back where I belong. I'm back where I belong. Fears up and leave me, they just disappear like so much nothing, so much for taking time. 'Cause on the water or on the shore, this is home and so much more. Old man river, take me in your arms, take me in your arms. I'm home sweet home again. Want it any other way, friendly smiles enough to say, yeah, it'll be alright, and I don't have to worry none. Friendly word or a passing wave that makes southern sense when I'm away, and I'm just glad I'm back where I belong. I'm back where I belong. Hush now softly, can't you hear? The mockingbird, she must be near. She sings her song, the bio lullaby.
Beautiful.
There you go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
As soon as it starts warming up a little, I'll start playing these live for you guys. They're way more fun to play. It's nice to sit back and listen, but nothing like getting into the zone with it. That's where I live. And that was the other thing I got from August Rush last night. Of course, I'm listening to things as they only and shall only resonate with me. And the one part of the movie said, I'm going to pick up my guitar again and just get back into the game. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get back in, and we're at that point now where we know how to shift things, and that's not to take laurels and sit on them. No, this is about taking those laurels and empowering them with real intent, real spiritual intent. But it's been it's been a long road. Long enough. It's been long enough. That's exactly it. There's no complaint there. It's been perfect. So it's about planting, like I said, and Val, you just gave a perfect example of planting seeds, and lo and behold, through the grapevine, those seeds are manifesting, and it's as simple as that. It's I've had talking with Stephen earlier today. When am I joining him? Joining him again on Rev Radio next Tuesday. And it'll be for the first. We'll lose the first hour of our show, or actually no, we'll have the first hour of our show next Tuesday night, and then we'll roll over into that one. And I just love sitting, hanging out with people as an interview versus hosting. It's a whole different headspace for me, way more comfortable for me as well. And then I've got to get the details on it, but I'm going to be doing another show with Rev Radio on Thursday night, which will be from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So we'll lose the first hour of our table, but I'll be rolling right into it as soon as I'm done that as well. So we'll still have a couple hours, an hour live and an hour recorded to talk further, or as much as we need or as little as we need. It doesn't really matter to me. So, but it's just amazing when you start to understand the true potential of losing the fear and just plant the seeds, So here's what happened. Steve called in. He was the one that was in court yesterday and had the prosecutor admit that yes, he was trying to entice him into slavery, and of course he left. I'm not playing that. Thank you very much anyway. And when I talked to Steve, I said, well, let's the ball's up in the air. Let's give it a smack, right? So I said, call back to the court tomorrow, which was today, and start asking about private prosecutions, how you go about doing a private prosecution. And it's not about the process. It's not about doing anything. It really isn't. What it is all about is putting the intent in there and planting. Well, you're working from the right mind, so you take these beautiful right mind seeds and you plant it into the cane fields of everybody else that's still in system think. You plant that seed, and of course he talked to two individuals, two ladies, two clerks, and what do you think they're going to be talking about? And what happens when someone else in the system hears about it? Well, that's another ear that gets infected, and then another ear. And then I said to him today, call him back tomorrow and just ask him, listen, I called yesterday about the private prosecution. Have you found out any more information about that? Reinforce your seed, water it. And that's all you're doing. But remember, that's all you're doing. You're not trying to solve anything, cane brain. What you're trying to do is create, because you are now able to create. So plant the seed and reinforce it with some truth, some watering, by following up on it. If you're going to plant one seed, you can nurture that. There's some people that will have one plant, and they will take care of that one plant like it was a child. So these are the seeds that we nurture. These are the ones we want to come to fruition, so we keep watering them. Don't overwater them, though, because too much water is just as bad as too little. We don't want to have root rot, do we? So you'll know you can't make a mistake. That is exactly the power of creation. What you're doing now is deciding to be a very responsible Larry Hagman and being very mindful of what you wish for, and then the seeds that you put out are the ones that you nurture and you take care of, because guess where your focus is? Only on that one intent. And nothing can distract you from that one intent. And that's what's happening right now. It's friggin' awesome. Oh, looks like we got Mark jumping in with us too here, so let's bring Mark in. Mark was on earlier today with us. Mark, how are you?
Kate, don't you think we're going to be turning into firemen and putting a lot of fire out? Because once the proverbial meat sticks add 2 and 2, they're going to go ape shit.
Not in my not in my reality. See, that's the problem. Perfect, Mark. Thank you for this. This is exactly the contrast I want to show people. You see, if we're dealing from the literal and how we think people are going to react, what are you creating? Oh, wait a minute. There's that wishing well bitch again. So I don't have any considerations, I don't have any limitations, and I don't have any expectations. I simply accept all things because that timeline's already there. I get rid of Cain altogether, and I only use Cain that is in the minds of the rest of my consciousness to plant my seeds that I will nurture. In my world, everyone's going ballistic, going, woohoo, freedom, yay, and they're all helping each other, and everyone's getting along, and there's no money needed, and everyone's just can't gift everybody else enough, and everything's perfect, and you're the heroes and the superstars in my movie, and we're all getting together and partying in Australia with Santa, and then we're going to go here, and we're going to go there. That's my game. Which one do you want? You want the literal reflection or the lateral creation? I'm creating lateral, baby. So, but thank you for that, Mark. That's exactly, thank you. I needed that to really convey this point. See, look, you're perfect. You showed up and showed it in perfect contrast. You can't make a mistake, man.
Hey, Kate?
Yeah.
I got a quick question about Steve yesterday. Did he get an opportunity to look at the judge's face when the prosecutor said that? Yeah.
Well, he was looking at them, and I really what I need to do is get Steve on here to explain what happened. What he did was he read out the stuff I told him to say, and the prosecutor said yes. and then he. I heard that and I laughed. Yeah, last night. I know, it's funny, eh? Well, it's because see, that's the law coming into effect here, not the legal. This is the law, because when you stand in law, you change their legal to the bluff that it is. Are you going to keep buying the bluff? And there's people out there still selling that shit. It's rotted. It's garbage. Know thyself. Know the power that you have. Just plant seeds. It is that simple. I can't make it any clearer than that. Stop dramatizing everything. The what-if world. Oh, my fucking God. Tell me Genie isn't having a field day with that. Well, what if this? Oh, look what you're creating. Oh, look what you're creating. What is? Remember, F can be an S. What is? What is? What is? This consciousness, our primordial creation field, is completely 0-point neutral. It was put there by our consciousness, us, we, as the power tool of all creation. Then we leave that power tool of all creation, the divine feminine, we birth ourselves into this reality. That's the intent. We are the prodigal son. We're the Larry Hagmans, remember? And we give birth to ourselves into the sleepy field of no awareness of that. And the game is to find our way back home. And we've done it through countless civilizations on this planet and countless civilizations on others. And that's all this game is all about. It's freaking awesome. Start having some fun, will ya? Holy shit. How many times do you want to get yourself beaten across the head to get this? It's freaking amazing. I'll tell you what. You heard the letter I read last night, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually tempted to read it again tonight. And I really wanted people to get the notion of, look who I sent it to. I sent it to everybody that most people would be terrified of even shaking their hand. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to shake that hand. Did you wash yours before? Yeah, okay, good. Anyway, right? Because they're me.
Yep.
I'm not going to bow to another version of me outside of me. That would be worshiping a false idol. When you grant your power to someone else, you're worshiping a false idol. A fall, or a fa-el se, a fall of divine feminine creation. The fall of himself, herself, itself. That's what false is. And I can get fa being the root note of all creation with the intent of the himself, herself, itself. August Rush, mom and dad, all together, right? So when you are reacting outside of yourself, you're fooling yourself if you don't believe it, right? Sticks, love it. Cross the river, baby. But where are we? Oh, with the letter. Now imagine someone who is completely asleep having the gall, the utter gall, to send something like that to their authorities. Really? And then you'll see the joke of it. I think it's quite funny, personally, but it took me a while to get here. No harm, no foul. Everything's perfect. I'm here to have an experience. I want to see the contrast because I want to have that beautiful, culminating ending. You know, can't you see the beach fires and the surf rolling in on a 10-mile-long beach just packed with all of us? Santo's playing, I'm playing. We're all doing our music thing. We're all doing our art, dancing, and just being children. I think that's cool. That's my reality. Anybody else want to join me?
Mine too.
There you go.
No borders. No borders.
Yep, and I'm on there on Thursday as well, by the way. Oh yeah, like I haven't got enough radio shows to do, you know. But listen, see, here's what I'm talking about when I hear this too often. Thank you for taking the call. Thank you for spending the time to talk with me. Thank you for that. I said, well, thank you for calling so that I can talk to myself in another form. It's a whole lot more fun, And here's a movie for you. Have you ever wanted to just be able to pick up the phone and call someone that is deemed a star of some kind, someone that's just not of the general population, someone that say music star or whatever? Have you ever just wanted the urge to be able to pick up the phone and call them, and they answer the phone and start talking with you? Have you never felt that? Of course you have.
Yes.
Well, guess what I do? And that's not putting me on a pedestal. That's just what that's doing, is if you have any sense of that level of just being able to communicate with someone that's shaking the world up a little bit, wouldn't that be nice? And I tell you, that's exactly how I feel. I'd love to be able to pick up the phone and call whoever I want because I felt like it. And that's all I'm doing here is you can pick up the Skype and call me just because you feel like it. And I'll answer the damn phone. If I'm there, if I'm not, I'll call you back. Actually, Tyler called me last night, missed the call because I was inside, came out, called him back, and he shit himself. Wow, why not? Don't I say this on the air all the time that, yeah, I'm here? And the universe will keep my calls to where it's perfect for me. Right? But if that's what I want, why wouldn't I want to give that back, to have that beautiful singularity? And I'll guarantee you, how many radio hosts, we'll just use radio hosts because that's kind of what I do, right? So let's just use that. How many radio hosts out there can you just willy-nilly pick up the phone, call them, and have a chat with them? How many are there? There's only 2 that I know.
That I'm aware of.
And I make a point of it. That's the connection. I want to connect with me. Why wouldn't I? That's stupid. That's where you become selfish and worship your own idol, being completely neutral. I really, really like it. It's cool. I meet the most amazing people. I really do. And go ahead, ask me 3 years ago if I'd be sitting amongst some of the most amazing people that I, literally grew up learning about, and I get to be sitting at the same tables with them. Are you kidding me? It's beautiful.
Hey, kid, I was just perusing something while you're being the multidimensional beings that we are. People getting caught up with the legal, the government stuff, showing all these different ways from past, today, tomorrow, every which way but loose, that we've been locked into a slavery system. And I keep I love how you bring it back to the spirit again. It's like that's where we do it. That's where we end the mind control from there. That's where we extract ourselves and intent, shift laterally into this new world. As long as we keep focusing on that other aspect, I'm like, you're not standing in your true power.
Your mind can only be controlled to the degree that you allow it to be controlled. That's it. That is knowing who you are.
I know, so
very
great.
Simple.
We figured it all out. Not just.
Let's manifest. Let's party. Let's get on to the new wave. We're riding the potential. Just plant the seeds. Don't worry, the seeds will take care of themselves. Farmers, you're good farmers. You're good Abels. So just let Cain deal with it. That's physical. That's Cain. Let's create our own realities. It's mind-bogglingly simple. That's why it's so hard to get across to people, because everyone's still trying to play the literal game. So well, go ahead and play it, but don't bitch at me. And I can't help you. I can't help anyone. I can't rescue a damn soul. I'm not here to rescue anybody. I'm here to save myself. I'm here to change my mind because I'm consciousness. Get over it.
What I discovered or rediscovered or remembered was that when the truth got clearer, it sure did get simpler. Mm-hmm. I saw that fictional world for what it is. Like, why don't dance over there? And the freedom. I was like, there it is. It's gone. Thanks for the reminder again.
Exactly. And that's all this table really is. And here's the joy of this table, because each and every one of you that comes to this table is sitting at the same level as all of the rest of us. Like, you see, here's the thing. I get lumped in with people like Dave Icke, Jordan Maxwell, Bonacci, Bill Donahue, Mark Passio, all of the names. I get lumped in with them. Dean Cliffords, Rob Menards, everyone that you've likely heard of in a truth movement sense. I get lumped in with all of them. Now, because you're here by association and default, so are you superstars. That's why my phone line is open, because I want to make sure that you know you're a superstar. And I'll beat it into your fucking heads. That's the only way I'm going to beat myself up. I'm going to beat you into superstardom. Damn it. Oh, we have another caller in, by the way. I couldn't tell you what the number is because it's all the ones again. So, caller, you had your hand up, so I opened your mic for you. So what's on your mind? Okay.
Oh, hey, can you hear me now? I accidentally had it on mute, so I didn't disturb the flow of conversation. This is Colin. How's it going there, Kate?
Good, Colin. How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm good. I just had to ping in because you're talking about how, your phone is always open, and ironically, I think I talked to you with a little bit of buzz about nights ago. I couldn't remember the initial inertia of why I wanted to give you a call, but I'm just diligently taking notes and trying to absorb as much as possible of the Phoenician phonics and the rules of engagement. So that's kind of the only reason why I pinged in.
You know what? I almost got your name right. I said caller instead of call in, right? So, everybody call in. See, look, manifesting beauty. And here, proof of the pudding. How did you call me?
Just through my Google phone, through my computer.
And where did you call me? On Skype? Cell phone?
You mean the other night?
The other night when you called.
Yeah, I was going through your dossier of writings, and I saw your phone number in one of them.
And you just decided you would test that out to see if that bitch put her number down, and she did. And I answered the phone.
Yeah, pretty much. So, that's pretty much how it was. And I was pretty amazed that you're the real McCoy on the other end. I had to give you a call.
You know why I piss people off? And I was talking with Ingrid about a little while ago. You know how I really piss people off? Is because I'm so excruciatingly honest. And most people can't.
Yes, you are. You're definitely that.
I am painfully honest. Because I'm not here, like I said, to make friends. I'm not here to make enemies either. I'm here to be God and to see the rest of me, God, be God as well. It's an easy game to me, you know. But
it is, and it's in Lakesh too. That's a good verbiage.
Yeah, I stand in every word I say.
Well, we're all on fragmented roads of railments to get to the whole, to get to the holy ground. And the holy ground is discovering who we truly are inside ourselves. And the Bible has said, look within because you are God. And I've never been one to go to church. I didn't believe in it. For some reason, I knew it when I was real young. I didn't like being in a church. I thought it just didn't feel authentic to me. And, I wasn't an atheist either.
No, you followed the perfect road.
Yeah, I did.
Your road. Your road is perfect. So is everybody else's. So here's a question for you. By the way, I've opened the other mics up, 415 and Lunchbox Fox. Here's a question for you. How is my version of the game through your point of, or my point of you doing? How you doing? How am I doing? You see what I mean? This is so funny.
It's good, and it's weird because you still want the materialistic things. Like my car broke down, I want a new car, but then I have to go under contract. Or my girlfriend wants me to get a passport so we could go to Mexico for her sister's wedding, and I'm like, I'm going to have to, how am I going to get to Mexico without that? So there's all sorts of things that could pop up in one reality realm to the other.
Colin, don't put barriers up. Okay, you know who you are, yeah?
Uh-huh.
You know that the legal name is pure fraud, yeah?
Yeah. So separated by the middle name. Yeah.
So are you actually contracting or not? I told Santo the same thing. Don't set roadblocks.
As long as I know who I truly am, I could jump on any surfboard I want to at any given time. I could play the legal fiction name to get to Mexico and be who I truly am when I'm there.
Thank you.
And get back, and then hopefully never have to use it again, and not have to because everybody else wakes up to realize we don't need that bullshit. So,
right.
That's where I'm at. I guess we got to kind of jump to surfboards here and there on those rail lines, that wave, whatever you want to call it. As we go through the process, we know, but we have to commandeer ourselves at times to to those that are still asleep. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and remember here. I want to bring this point up. See, here's the thing. My game is very simple, and I hold the no identification key, and I will not let it go. Because here's the thing: when you're actually doing things that you need to do and following your heart, that is the poppy field that you're walking through. What I'm always cautioning people is fall asleep again. Just because you got this and that and the other, there's a trap there. In that freedom, there is a trap. So I make people mindful of both sides of it. If you want to play the game, follow your heart by all means. But here's the joy of why I sit where I sit, because in my reality, there are no borders. There are no passports. There are no licenses. There is no paper dealing our reality. That's my reality. And I hold that peace, and I will not let it go. Period. Because that's the main thrust and purpose of my show.
And anyone listening, you might have to get a new job. You're going to have to sign a contract. You're going to have to, you might start your own business, knowing that you can make a lot more than what you were doing. But deep down inside, you still know who you are. And the minute that, suffice to say, you have to go in front of court because you haven't filed taxes in 7 years. Wink, wink.
Colin, hang on.
There's a way to beat the system when they call you in there.
Yeah, Colin, one sec. Here, people ask me about passports and stuff, and how did you get your passport? And I said, well, I went in with certain terms. So here's how you can balance out the intent, okay? And this will make sure that you're not going to get caught in the poppy field, because I'm not going to give you an out. I give no one an out. I never gave myself one. Why the fuck would I give you one? Okay? So I stand in truth at all costs. That's the game. So here it is in a nutshell. If you're going to get a passport, then what you need to do is educate the individual that you're discussing it with. Because what you're doing then is planting the seed in their cane mind so that they take it with them. So here's the thing. If you were going to take something from the harvest, plant a tree. And the minute you do not plant a tree to reinforce your intent is the minute you can be spiritually bound. So yeah, someone has to go and get a job or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes to play the game, if you truly know who you are. And you, then it is your obligation to stand in natural, universal law, to let the other party, living point of consciousness, know that you're only doing this in order to survive, because any use of the legal name is pure fraud. Now you're planting the seed and letting it get it. What you're doing is placing a virus in the system. So here's the trade-off. If you want to take fruit from this tree, then you better plant the seeds. Savvy? I planted my seeds. That's the difference. I think those are terms, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I really do. Right? And it makes a lot of sense. So in essence, you're gonna plant the seed. You're gonna tell the person. You're gonna tell the situation what it is, and you're basically ameliorating yourself.
Yeah, I'm only doing this because I have to. I'm only doing this because I have to in order to get... That's what I told the British consulate when I had to take my dad's ashes back to Ireland. I told them, I'm only doing this because I absolutely have to, and I do not wish to commit fraud. Is it your intent that I commit fraud? No, it's not. And I said, okay, on those terms, now... I nullified, and that's what I told the consulate guy. I said, I've nullified any contract of any nature whatsoever based on your system, and the only reason I'm doing this is to keep myself safe from the goonies that work for you, that would harm me if I didn't have it. Those are my terms. I set the terms of my contracts. No one else does. And this is what's happened to us, is we've let everyone else dictate the terms of the contract, and we've said, oh, okay, I could do that. Not anymore. So now I think those are extremely fair terms, and I think that's probably the best way I've ever described that yet. So there you go. So if you're gonna pick fruit from the tree of life, you are now obligated to plant another.
Yeah, that
makes sense. And that could be verbal or written contract, correct?
Well, it's where a contract's written. There's only one place the contracts are written. They're all written here. It's called Spirit. Have you read my essay, the contracts, yet?
No.
Read it. You need to read that one based on what you're talking about right now, and this will actually clarify it so your intent is crystal clear. That's all I do. It's about taking the common denominator and literally shaving all of the garbage off of it, right down to the point of what I do is I deconstruct the tree down to the seed.
I started listening to that with Santos Bonacci, the contract in your archive, and I wasn't able to get through it all today.
There you go. See, perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'll give you contract law. They think that, everyone that's playing in the legal game thinks it's a piece of paper or a handshake. No, the instant that
it's intent.
That two people intend to get married, one asks, one accepts, the contract is sealed. It's done.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
No paper required. If I agree with you to do something, and I make an offer and you accept, there's the, he offered or she offered her honor, he honored her offer, and all night long he was honor and offer. Okay, it works this way. Right. Good one, eh? I loved that one when I heard it the first time.
Yeah, it's a cheers drink actually, but yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I'm stressing to people, I'm really glad this came up tonight, because this is for me the most important thing to discuss about the spiritual contract. Those are your seeds. When you get into an agreement with someone else, remember Larry Hagman and Jeannie. Always remember this. One's going to be Larry, one's going to be Jeannie. And if you alloy, not ally, but if you alloy yourself and become alluvium, gold and silver, with another individual, that is a spiritually binding contract. So this is why you must sit with yourself to understand yourself and what terms you are willing to accept. Me, I do not accept any terms from anyone else until I make my intent crystal clear and make their intent crystal clear and make anyone else in my circle, and this includes on the air, to make them fully aware that only my terms of intent, which are benevolent only. That's why I'm excruciatingly honest, because that's where I live. I've been through. I've messed up to get the contrast, so I know what it is. Okay, so this is why you've got to be crystal clear with your intent, because it's going into the wishing well, and that seed's going to grow like that. It's instantaneous. That's a lateral time shift. That's where you move your moment of now. Every contract.
Yeah, the way we got to be analogous.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is where we get to be androgynous, magnetic electric. We take all our power into ourselves, where we do not allow any of the illusion. I'm part of your illusion, by the way. Any part of the illusion take control of me again. I helm my ship. No one takes my mind. No one takes my contracts. No one takes my intent. I cannot be changed. I am the catalyst. I'm changed in the reaction. That's, well, go figure. Kat, Kate, whatever, And we got Mike's back in. I guess he dropped off there. 1 second, I'll get him back in the call. So this is a very critical for me. This is a very critical subject, because it really gets to the crux or the cross of what it is that we are really here to do, and how we've been getting fooled.
Your intent is incontrovertibly stated, and
yes.
What you have is resonates. It's not like that the Michael David Allen Martin or adverb verb guy that came out through OPPT Trust.
Yeah,
all
Dave
stuff,
Yeah, David Wine Miller. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I love that point of caution. He's very entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I got into it. I thought it might be legitimate for a couple weeks until,
Me too. I looked at them all
people started
again.
talking about it.
Yeah, see, I can't totally disagree.
It's the road that we travel, and whether it be, we've all been there, and we all know what might be there. You could deal with John Lynch and think archons are, going to come about and be a force, or you could look at Santos, and you could look at there's many lily pads this frog has jumped onto to get to where I'm at right now, and it's just a journey. It's been fun, but it's created self-help for myself too in a lot of ways. A lot of friendships lost, a lot of bullshit, but you have to go through that bullshit to grow and to finally know what is real and what is the facade. And I'm glad I found you, because the past 2 weeks I've been able to deal and cope with the minutia of fear porn, NWO bullshit, just everything. And I've been really cutting a lot of those websites out of my life because I just don't need the shit anymore.
Yeah,
because it's channeling too much negative energy. And I'll tell you what, I probably haven't been the most decent person to be around here for the past 2 years, going into the hardcore shit of everything. And if anyone's listening, get the hell out of those websites. Yeah, get out of those websites. Don't live in that, because that's just going to harness the energy and it's going to just ruin you. But I'm glad I found you.
I was going to say, do you want to know how to not create something? Don't look at it. And there's a way to look at something and not look at something. It all depends on the viewpoint. You see, for me, you got to take a look at yourself in terms of responsibility, of course. But what are you going to create? Are you going to you see, when I go to any of those sites, one of my favorite, I love going to the garbage can on occasion, bin, before it's, and checking to see what literal crap distraction is being flogged out there, because the minute I look at it, I allegorize it and change it into my literal. So that's the difference of looking at fear porn and creating it, or looking at fear porn and turning it into truth porn. That's the difference. Which is great,
because you could break down a word. I'm not there yet. You could break down your Phoenician phonics, and I'm not there yet. I don't know. I'm waiting for that to come out, by the way. But, when the minute you bust that out, I guarantee you I'm going to diligently study that and recognize every word and the traps that they set for us. So I'm not quite there, but there's a whole lot more to it than what I've heard over the past 2 weeks since I discovered it. But, that's just going to be hopefully coming out. I hope. When do you plan to come out with that, by the way?
Well, as soon as I can regain some energy here, I'm working away at it, and it's going to come out exactly when it's needed. I was going to talk about the word transmute. Here, let's play a little phonics, so maybe this will help people a bit further along as well. The word transmute. Well, literal definition means it's going to change something. It transmutes from one thing to another. Okay, but let's have a look at what the two words are separately, because they're conjoined words. You got trans, which means to go across, and you have mute, which means to silence. Across to silence. So what does that mean in an allegorical sense? Well, when I'm transmuting something from a fear porn literal into a truth porn spiritual allegory back into a truth porn literal, what I'm doing is I'm silencing it, literally. That's what transmutation is. That's exactly what I do with everything I look at. And I am insatiable when it comes to this. Because everything that I transmute changes my lateral timeline. Am I in a hurry? You're damn straight. You think I want to get back to playing the game? I want to play it, and I've had enough of this nonsense? Damn straight. So, I'm motivated.
Cool. Well, I'll let someone else jump in. And I'll just listen to you while I get my dinner going.
Well, there you go. Perfect. All right. Okay. Well, we got a wide. Go ahead, Mike.
And anybody else wants to chime in, just jump in. This kind of ties in what we were talking about earlier today about our worth. Quit devaluing yourself. You have got it all. And we compare ourselves to, I don't know what, but something that we shouldn't, in a way that, makes our things less of ourselves. And part of this was just reminding me of the distortion, the unreality, the matrix, what you like to call it. And on a physical, right here playing out in the so-called world today, in the governments and the religions, in the mental, in terms of whatever mind control or your own ego, or you can owning your own thoughts, or in the spiritual realm, that so-called dark side is small compared to the whole. It really is. It's not some big bad wolf that's bigger than everything, like the dragons portrayed in The Hobbit. Like, oh no, there's this. No, it's really a small fraction of the pie.
Yeah, real heroes didn't kill dragons; they rode the damn things. I saw that in my Facebook the other day, and that's true. And the dragon is a dragon within you, so you got to bring that beast out of you. You want to control the beast, and you got to get it outside of you. That's another allegory for the fluffy or the tricky bastard called ego. Yeah, we got 21 minutes until rollover, so I'm going to do the shout out. Not sure how long I'll stay in the rollover. But definitely we'll be going into it because we've got a few people who still haven't heard from yet. You can call in at area code 661-467-2401. And, of course, you can refresh the page you're listening on with Blog Talk. If you don't see the Skype button there, refresh to see it. And you can click on that to bring you into the board. Once on the board, you can hit 1 on the phone to let me know you want to join in. Wish you would. And with Skype, open up the dial pad on Skype and hit 1 there, and it has the same effect. It lets me know that you want in the call as well. Great big thank you again to Paul Giovanni and criticalmassradio.co.uk. Again, it's still the 14th, so I can wish Ninja a happy birthday. Yay! Again! Wow. Talk about a trinity there, because it's already the 15th where she is. So I was able to wish her a happy birthday on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. Talk about no time? Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, anything you guys can do to chip in, love to have it, and you're only changing the world by doing so. That's where you're transmuting money into spirit. So if you want to transmute your money into spirit, because money is the illusion, recreate the spirit with it. Flow it where it's going to do the best and most good to destroy money, and you're good. It's a singularity. Isn't that cool? You get to use it to destroy it. I friggin' love that one. So anyway, there you go. There's a little shout out. We got, like I said, 20 minutes to roll over. So you have time to call. If you are not on the board when we do roll over, we do go off the air, and we got room for a few more callers here. So again, the phone number is 661-467-2401. There you go. Table's yours, guys.
Hey, Kate. Speaking of birthdays, I'd like to talk to you real quick about my daughter, who happens to be sitting next to me, and it happens to be her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yay! I love birthdays every day.
Okay, so she took a couple of nail polishes from Walmart, and they stopped her before she got out the door and brought her back into the back office. They told her that it was under $25, no big deal. Nobody was called, nothing was done. They got back their little nail polishes. A little while later, now she's being sued for $500. As of now, yeah. As of now, she's being sued by Walmart for something. I don't even understand why there's being caught in the act of stealing. She never even went out the front door. But now
you see, there's okay. Let's look at the positive. There is the absolute desperation of a system coming down, that it has to resort to something so trivial and stupid in order to maintain its greedy profits. So look at the mirror on this. Okay, so that one. What I would did it come in from one of their fictional lawyer types? Oh, okay. Well, what you need to do is email them directly back a whole shit pile of my documents. Have some fun with it. Let them know that you're not. No problem. Yeah, understood. All of them. Fuck them. Sorry, I don't know how old your daughter is, but you know what I'm like, right?
No, she's 25 today. It's all good.
It's all good. So, yeah. Put a big fat smile on your face. You got a door open to shove a major beam to the belly of the Walmart beast, right? Kate, can I ask you a question? No, I don't fucking speak Walmart. So, throw it back at him, hon. Have some fun. Put a smile on your face. Okay. This is just a game, right? Let's play. Plant the seeds. Throw it back at him.
You're bigger than Walmart.
Yeah, huger.
It's your toy to play with.
Website?
Which writings of yours should she start with to reply back to the lawyers who are sending her this whatever we're taking you to court shit?
All right. Well, I am going to give you a gift of gifts for your birthday. What's your daughter's name? Lawful one.
Anastasia.
What is it?
Her name is Anastasia.
Anastasia. Of course it had to be Anastasia. What are the odds? Anyway. All right. Well, Anastasia, for your birthday, I'm going to gift you all the documents on my website. Pure and utter truth. And for your birthday, you must open your present, which means I need you to read all of them. And I promise you, I have given you a gift of gifts, my love. If you open all your presents, read through them. It's a short list of things that you need to send to them, but let's just say that when you read them, you will know the ones you need to send. I promise you. But what I want you to do for your birthday is open all of these gifts that I have given humanity, the rest of me, and enjoy them and become the goddess you are. There's your punishment.
Thank you. Because that's a lot of reading.
Take about a day, yeah. But you will, Anastasia, you will not be the same, I promise you. When you get through them, start with choices. I always tell people to start with choices, because that is the primordial beginning of all of my essays of this series. And it was the basis root point of showing the importance of singularity, and it's also an illustrative to get people in a little bit into the phonics as well. And I assure you, by the time you read all of them, you will not be the same. Have a pillow at your table, because the jaw hurts when it drops that many times.
Okay.
Happy birthday, hon.
You're beautiful.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Mirror. And by the way, you guys have my Skype, yeah?
Yeah, I don't.
Here, I'll share. Well, geez, come on, you got to get at the table with the rest of us in the Skype rooms. We have a field day, and lots of gods and goddesses in there that can steer the way nicely. Katie.Renee.Thompson. It's KATIE RENEE, the girl form, THOMPSON. That's my Skype. PSON. Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah. You know the Lawmakers Lawkeeper group? Yeah, that's us. Anyway,
she has a smarty pants phone, so she'll be able to Skype with you. I don't, however, so I get to listen to you on my cell phone.
Yeah, and by all means, guys, everything's there, but open all your gifts, because they're wonderful, I promise you. And tag me on Skype, get you involved in the rooms, and that way you have very easy direct access to me. Okay? And one thing I've asked everyone to do is definitely call me. I would ask this, though. Take the time and present the courtesy of reading what I've written, because it will save me a whole lot of talking.
Right. Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Kate. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Mirror, guys. Much love. Perfect.
Bye-bye.
See, this is how we create.
Hey, Kate, do you ever read the books? The title of the series is called Anastasia. By a Russian guy named Megre.
Is that? I'm thinking of a Cedar Rings series. Sorry.
Yes, Cedar. That's it. The Cedar Rings.
Ringing
Cedar series.
Yeah. I've got them in my computer.
Yeah. Have you ever read them yet?
Not yet. Who has to read when I'm writing all the time?
I know. Well, anyway, if you just start with the first one, that's if you can see it right there. Autumn. Oh, so beautiful. It just shows you a being living in the fifth dimensional in harmony with nature and all, in one of the most places you would not expect it, in the Russian tundra, in the cedar pine forest, in the winter with just she had her own. It was beautiful. If anyone really, you read that, and it really alone, that series in Russia is brought many people back to nature. Leaving the cities, going back to nature, simple living on a simple little farm in the country. So many, they don't advertise this. They show you the city, of course, but they don't show you the millions of people connecting back to nature all over the planet.
Oh, 541, or actually, who was that I just opened?
250?
Hey, Patty, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Which one did I open that you're on?
250, I think.
I haven't opened a 250 yet. Let me just... No, I'm not even seeing you on the board, hon.
That it just naturally connects, Kate. Remember, like you pick up the phone and
crazy.
Bang.
Yeah, I'm seeing you on the board here at all, hon.
Oh, really? Oh, you know what? Because I'm on Skype.
Oh, that's right. You call Tibu China 7. That's the one.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. I was going to phone in, and my mind never got back to the Skype. I think I'm still on the phone somewhere.
Well, I'm just letting you know I'm opening everybody's mics up. Whoever's got their hand up, their mic is open. So just be mindful on your end to keep the noise down. But everyone that I can see, their mics are open. So go ahead, Patty. Great to hear your voice. You get my Skype, by the way?
No, I haven't been on it for a couple of days.
Oh, okay. Well, you asked me about something the other day regarding Facebook, and I sent you required information.
Okay.
So please, I'd love for you to do that. So have at her and enjoy the inner workings.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Perfect. Okay, because I did it a bit on my Facebook too, so I know how to do it now. I learned it from you.
Well, the good news is everyone that does contact me, and by the way, guys, if you're going to send friend suggestions, please make sure that they know who I am, because I will not accept any suggestions because of the fascist nature of fascist books sometimes. I did send them a nasty little note saying, please, kind of well known out here, and people are suggesting other friends, they're friends of mine, to be connected. So back off, garbage. So there you go. That's just my take on it.
What a hoot! Oh my God. Well, I wanted to call in tonight because I've got quite a bit of stuff that's been going on, and it. Of course, it involves the system. Now, I just want to read.
Patty, can I jump in for a second?
Yeah.
I've got an echo going on, so I'm not sure if it's a phone or if someone's got speakers on, so please mute out on your end until you're ready to talk. Thank you. Go ahead, Patty. I was hearing myself in the background going, I hear enough of myself in the background. I don't need any more. Thanks. Okay.
I could hear it too, yeah. Oh, okay. I just want to, is that okay? Can you still hear the echo?
It's still there. I'm not sure which mic it's on.
I wonder if it's... I don't think it's me. I just got my
No, it's okay. Sounds like it's gone.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like it's gone.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, perfect. I just want to read an email I got from Sam. Sam is out of town right now, and we've been emailing back and forth. And this was emailed to me from Sam on Sunday, the 12th. So that's like, 2 days ago, yeah. He says, I have just now. Okay, so, if people don't know, Sam is a shaman, and he's just spending time with him like this. I just see how freaking incredible and powerful this guy is. I mean, he connects with all kinds of spiritual realms and everything, and it's mind-boggling. So, just so that you kind of have a history of kind of what he's capable of doing. It says here, I have just finished connecting with the illuminated ones, the Rothschilds, and it went very well. They were happy to hear from us. They are beautiful and are happy to assist us in our personal endeavors. The energy was amped up as I stood up to display veneration. Now that was Sam saying what he did, eh? They did the same for both of us. Wow. I said that there are no winners or losers, and that the both of us are eternally grateful for their being there. They are taking it very well and do know more than us in really what all of this is all about. They are really good sports about all of this, probably why I have so much admiration for them, almost in tears. And he signed his name, Sam. The system has come down.
Oh, yeah, we know it's gone. Thank you. It's beautiful. See, I just listen for confirms now. I don't question it any longer. I'm just looking for the confirmations of what's falling and where. And of course, Sam had to be a pivot in it. Beautiful. Almost tempted to get you to read that again.
Okay, I'll read it again if you like.
Would you? Yeah.
For sure.
That way it really sinks in, because the first pass you can miss some things in it. So listen for the allegorical intent contained within this.
Okay. He says, I have just finished connecting with the illuminated ones, the Rothschilds, and it went very well. They were very happy to hear from us. They are beautiful and are happy to assist us in our personal endeavors. The energy was amped up, so I stood up to display veneration. They did the same for both of us. Wow. I said, there are no winners or losers, and do know more than us in really what all of this is all about. No winners or losers, that both of us, the both of us are eternally grateful for their being here. They are taking it very well and do know more than us in all of this about all of this. They are really good sports about all of this, probably why I have so much admiration for them. Almost in tears, Sam. There was a lot of spiritual warfare that's gone on in order to get this letter even sent. I mean, it's been Sam and I have been involved with huge spiritual warfare stuff, and it's just been brilliant, really. And you know, the reason that this is all, that I'm even able to come to the table and say this is because you know, I've gotten to the point where I don't have fear, like Kate, you know, how you talk about that, how just maintain your 0 point, and how to do that. And I just wanted to share this with people because, you know, this is what got me right here at this moment, at this particular time, to even read this letter out loud to anybody, because the only reason that this could have happened is because, you know, whoever has gotten to this point where we are at this point where we can actually come against people or entities that we believe. It's all just a show. It's just a movie. These are just, you know, when I had to walk out fears, and one of them was, of course, you know, having to deal with these Illuminati. And it's just, as I learned and started climbing this ladder, it was like, you know, this is just a movie, like Kate, like you say, And the way that I've kind of allowed this to manifest and to really come a part of me is by knowing that. And what I do is I just, whether it's true or not, in my mind it is, and it works 100% for me. So I look at it this way. I go, okay, there is no fear. Okay? If you think of a situation that makes you fearful, whatever it is not real. Okay? You know what it is? There's a guy sitting up in wherever you want to believe he is. He's at a board. This board's got all these buttons. Each button has a frequency, an electrical frequency attached to it. It could be fear of having to beg for money, fear, I don't want it, whatever it is. There's a frequency on that board that is directed at you, okay? And all it is a frequency. It doesn't fucking exist, okay? So you get, my fear was the Bilderbergs and this whole group are going to come out, you know, this is, and I knew it wasn't going to be true. I just knew it, but I had to resolve it. It was a little thing in me that just couldn't let go of it, and I went, bring it on, okay? How did I bring it on? I received it. I welcomed it. You can never, ever resist anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Welcome it. Invite it in. Love it. These are entities that are knocking on your door. They want love. That's all these entities want, is they want to be loved, okay? The more we resist it, the more they're going to keep banging. They're us, okay? They're us. They're you and me. They're our brothers and sisters, okay? They want this to end just as much as we do. And so when, like, for instance, my pain has been so excruciating. Well, what's the message? It's this, they want to come out. They want to be free. They want to go to the light. This game is done, eh? So you welcome it in. You say thank you. Thank you for the lessons that you have taught me.
Hell of a game.
I love you guys so much, and you have brought me to this point. Without you guys, I couldn't have done it. And this is what happened with the Rothschilds. When I had mentioned on the show, Kate, when we were just messing around and remember we talked about putting a condom in the letter in your document and sending it off. Go fuck yourself, eh? Well, but
do it safely.
But do it safely, right? And we were going to throw sand in. Well, I had actually listened to the show the other day because I had missed a few programs because I haven't been listening, eh? And I heard that same show, and on that show I came in and I said, yeah, like when the cop comes to your car, roll down the window, hand him the envelope, and of course the condom's in it, and I said, yeah, bend down, I'm going to fuck you, it's your turn this time, right? Well, that was what I had said on the air. And what happened is I was talking to Tanda about a week ago, and she had mentioned that on your show you had mentioned that Jeff Rothschild got sodomized and was in the hospital, okay?
Yep.
Well, as soon as now I'm telling you this after the fact, I heard that and I went, shit, that was because I made that comment on the air, okay? So what I said is, that comment that I said on the air, I want it nullified, neutralized, transmuted into energy that is of pure, true light and love. And because I said I was sick to my stomach when I heard that about Jeff Rothschild, okay? Well, I don't care what you think about me, what I did.
Hang on. There's no guilt. There's nothing here. There's only perspective. We're rolling over in 60 seconds, by the way, guys. So if you want to call in, 661-467-2401. But that's the reason why I go to allegories, because it removes all the literal intent. And what it does is it illustrates the amount of bliss and the amount of suffering we as the one consciousness have endured. And of course, like I said with my letter yesterday, I have two realities that I can choose, but I'm leaving that choice to the other. You can, I don't know if you listened to the letter I wrote and sent it to Chief Brian Larkin in Guelph.
Yeah, I did.
And
brilliant.
I gave the two choices to create the singularity. It's a better world in both cases, but I'm giving you the option. Regardless of what happens in my reality, it's going to be a better world.
Mm-hmm.
With if you want to be criminals locked up, then knock yourself out. It's not what I would do. What I would do is say, you know what, maybe that tranny mouthy bitch has got a point. Maybe I should stand up finally. Maybe I should come to the light. Maybe I should be honorable. Maybe I should do these things. These are the things that I would do, and it's what I have done. So either way, it's a far better world if they come to the light. Far better. Mm-hmm. But it's still a better world if they don't. I'm just giving them the option of which one do you want. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, it's not going to be a better world for those that are going to rot in jails. Now, I don't know if you heard the other day, beautiful allegory with China closing all of its labor camps and letting everybody go.
Yeah.
This is the consciousness shift in the translateral timeline towards Eden, towards heaven. The enemy we create without is the same one we create within. Love thine enemy. Because if you look at someone as an enemy, what have you made yourself to them? The same damn thing. And that's going to win lots of things, isn't it? No, it's just going to keep that spiral going down. So, I'm on the same page with you, Patty. I really am.
Pat. Yeah. I know you are, and the funny thing is too is that when I really, I did feel really bad about him. I really did, and it was at that point that the tables turned. It really was, in terms of how my journey is, because what that did when the thing is this, is that how many people in this world do you think have sent him love? Or any of the Rothschilds? They've only been lambasted with hate, and it's a natural reaction because of what they've done. But they are our brothers and sisters, and they are playing a role too. And they are where we were at one time. And all we need is to love them. Love conquers all. Okay, and I'm coming on the air and telling you this tonight because this is what took them down. Okay, what I just read to you was in constant communication with Sam over the phone, over emails, of the shit that I was going through here, because Sam's home is built on sacred land here, and his home is built like there's just a hallway running from the front to the back, and it's the balance. And there's the two sides. I mean, we are sitting in this is a brilliant home. The power in this home is unbelievable. And the magic that I've been doing has been forming the Cardinal Grand Cross up in the sky. So I'm telling you this, I'm still in the process of it. I've still got my DNA that I'm supposed to be pouring out on one of the crosses. I don't know which one. I'm waiting to find out where I am to put it. Now, this magic is, whatever dark magic they've been using in the Cardinal Grand Cross, I'm counteracting it down here. This is why I guess I'm in Caslow. I mean, it's just brilliant, really. And so this is the power of what's been going on. You can fucking bet the spiritual warfare has been on my ass. Oh, fucking right it has been. But you know what? I've had to come through this shit. You guys know who I've been up against. I mean, I've expressed it openly on the show.
You've been up, Patty, you've been up against yourself all along. And all of the pictorial illusions in this movie.
Exactly.
In order to have this beautiful drama unfold to its final culmination of absolute bliss. That's the whole point of creation.
Isn't it brilliant?
Can you experience that, or are you going to, stay in another timeline? And you will. You'll choose the timeline you want. My lateral time shift is just going gangbusters.
I'm right next to you, Katie. Oh, my God. And you are so freaking spot on, because what happened is when I got to that point, so I asked that, my words were nullified with that guy. When that happened, everything just started really opening up for me in terms of figuring out how to keep the balance. And I had already kind of got there already, but so as I was saying, now you got the guy up, and that's all it is, okay? Katie, yes, right, the enemy is within me. I'm going, holy shit, here they are. There were helicopters flying over here. They had harmonics coming at this home, or whatever it was. I go out there and I go, oh, well, it's not. Isn't that funny? I bet you the Bilderbergs and the Rothschilds don't even want to be around here because they know the fucking power that I have. Why would I even think that it's their helicopters and their harmonics? I know whose it is.
Okay,
it's the universe sending me help, and as soon as my mind went to that, it instantly got my power back.
What I said earlier in the show is the only things I accept into my universe are those things that I look at and can see both sides of it. So here it is, and I'm putting it out in spiritual perfect intent, no warfare. Don't believe in that, but perfect intent.
Love fair.
I can totally accept that it's over, that it is over. So here is my intent going out. By one's actions, one is known. Call off your dogs. Let's build. Yeah.
And you know what, Katie? I sent you a Skype the other day, and I really believe that I'm onto something here about who these people are, because I've been investigating a lot of the Messiah seed stuff, and I know that there are certain ones of us who are Messiah seeds, and I believe that I believe the Pope is one, and I believe that the Rothschilds are one, and I also believe that Obama might be one. Now, I'm sitting on the fence about that one still, but don't you think we would have had enough fucking smarts to have this so perfectly arranged that we would have we would have the light at the top when this whole thing was going to crack open, and we are cracking open right now. And the reason I'm bringing this to the table now is because I think that's what we did, because we're that fucking smart. Okay, we placed these guys there to help us. They are no different than us. We have been through the matrix.
Okay. I need you to start talking in the singular instead of the separate divide and conqueror. Okay, there is no us and them. There is only we. We are the one.
I know that. Yeah, you're right.
Well, it's not just for you. Remember, I speak third party. I speak on behalf of all of my consciousness. That's who I'm addressing. Me. So I'm speaking to me, and as much as I'm speaking to the rest of me, the magnetic electric.
It's a good time to bring that up, because here we are where, listen to the letter. They're beautiful people. I mean, this is how Sam sees them, and they are.
Now, this was a letter that Sam wrote to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he hasn't shared anything that they've actually potentially written to him?
Well, he was speaking to them in the spiritual realm, and so and he just because he asked to contact them when I told Sam what had happened here, just the adjusting of the energy. He knew what was going down, and he asked to talk to them because we knew what this was about. I mean, we've been kept aboard and abreast of what we were actually doing here, and so we've just followed this thing step by step, and today here we are. Who knows what's going to happen next? But it's.
Well, I'm going to say the same thing.
Beauty in them.
I'm going to say the same thing that Moses said. Fine, set my people free.
Mm-hmm. It's the Exodus.
And we build from here the exit us.
Thanks for bringing much clarity to this, Kate. And
oh, don't worry. You know me. I'm something to deal with for sure. I know that. You should try living in my head for a while. Holy fuck. Unbelievable,
God,
the stuff that goes through here. Oh, I've had a hell of a time the last few nights just trying to sleep because it just doesn't want to shut down. And that's okay. Yeah. I mean, I accept all things, and the things that I'm sorting through are obviously the things that I need to sort through and clarify and look at and dispel and neutralize, basically. That's all I'm here. As far as I'm concerned, I'm here to neutralize the duality,
Yeah.
But we got. Go ahead. I
was just going to say, it seems like that's kind of all I'm doing lately, and I just wanted to finish off, and I'll let somebody else speak. Is that all I wanted to say about the fear thing is just, it doesn't exist. It's a guy sitting up in a room somewhere pushing buttons to make you react, and the only thing that they're waiting for you to do is to not react. That's the bottom line. End of story. And once you get there, you're flying.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with me. That letter I sent out yesterday was most certainly not a reaction. That was, like I said, this is the last opportunity. I'm good with whatever you choose. Yeah. That is just saying I'm good. I want, if it were me, and it is, so, if it were me, this is what I would do. I would choose the high ground. I would choose the truth and move and climb, because the next level is going to be a hell of a lot more fun than this. And we're going to have a whole lot of contrast to play it. Be the inner child. This is the whole purpose of this game of self-discovery of ourself, the one. And that's all this is. And that's why I cannot get mixed up in any sort of literal diatribe, because all it is monkey chat. And it's very, very distracting. And if there's still one thing to fix within me, that's just, I get frustrated because it's perfect. It has to be perfect. So that's why I still have to deal with it. But, and I won't say but in the negating it sense. However, the things on the mirror side of that are simply this, that just get with the intent and stay in that area. Lose the emotions, lose the literals, because that's all you're going to keep creating. And I'm done staring at literals. And when people are throwing literal diatribes at me, I'm standing there fighting all of it off on a literal sense of the drama, Marsha game that people still like to play. I am not concerned with any of the literal stuff. And I'm fighting tooth and nail because in terms of just regular drama literal, it is so hard to decipher it in real time. When we're talking like this at this table, it is so very easy because we're all on the same pages here. We're asking all of the right questions. We're asking all of the right things to grow from instead of going circular in constant little debates and arguments. And that I left that behind a long time ago. So that being said, this is about maintaining the mastery of your ship, the control of your mind, where you will not allow those thoughts in to be manifest. A thought from Cain that gets manifest back into Cain is still Cain, and it's probably a whole lot less. It's the degenerated seed. Look at the DNA, for example. Here we are. What are we down to? 3-4% of the DNA left? That, to me, is a positive in that we've stripped all that other shit away. Gives us a ladder to climb, doesn't it? So, again, if you're looking at it polarized as well, we only have 4% of our DNA, and the rest is just shut down. And okay, if you agree with that, that's fine. How about you look at it from a different perspective? That's a whole lot less shit that I have to deal with, because it's probably all literal. Because DNA is what creates living stuff, isn't it? Just a thought. Anyway, Trace.
Hi, Kate.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Good. Hey, you want to see the Dean Clifford allegory? As soon as he's set free, the divine feminine is set free. The direct current is released. DC, direct current, Dean Clifford. Isn't it cool? I love it.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, I wanted to comment on the guy who called in earlier. I guess he's been listening for just a couple of weeks and talking about planting seeds and how to function with or without documents. And, of course, 10 years ago when I did the private prosecution, I knew it was about planting seeds. I knew that the Crown wasn't going to cooperate, and I knew that, that's why I shared that, what happened in the courtroom happened. I knew spiritually and etherically that something was happening. But those were in my angry days, and I did what you were sharing, I don't know if it was last night, about following up. And once I'm planting a seed, I did follow. I did call the Crown, and I did talk to a person by the name of Christina Lowe, and she was basically the one who stayed it, but I continued to argue with her a little bit. I questioned her. I asked her why. I asked what the criteria was. I asked her to define certain things. But now when I plant seeds, it's not just in terms of legal or taxes or things that we reacted to and made us angry and cornered us and pushed us to the fucking wall. Now it's everything on my path, every opportunity, and it's more of a proactive approach. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not blaming the lab technician in emergency when she comes in the room. And I've had this occasion in the last 6 months, 4 times in 4 different provinces being in emergency. I play hard, and everything from having a nail pulled out of my finger to bladder and...
Okay, you're breaking up there, Trace. That was weird. Are we still on here, guys? Anyone on the board? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. Trace must have had issues with her internet. No worries. We'll carry on here.
People bringing up this private prosecution, I don't really go there. What is that in terms of people talking about physically serving a paper to people? And I know we talk about, we're doing that in our spiritual intent, and we're shifting laterally faster than that's ever going to play out in my feeling.
Well, I'll tell you,
But if it's what is the form that people are kind of trying to envision here?
Okay, well let's bring it back to the spiritual, because this is where the contracts really exist. Okay, for me, in terms of private prosecution, it is merely planting the potential of accountability into those that are actually accountable lives. It worked pretty good with us. When a piece of paper was sent with an intention on it, well, we're going to do this and this and this, in our fear, boy, it got us thinking, didn't it? And that's all we're doing. We're getting them thinking.
I'm back on, you guys.
That all of a sudden they are accountable. Right.
Because it's self-responsible.
It's not about paper. It's about intent.
And it's about just, planting the seeds, if I could just jump back in there. So this gal, she didn't even look at me, but she was looking for my commodity status. So I asked her to look me in the eye and recognize me as a sister before she, took my blood, and that I would be happy to put my band back on when she recognized that I was competent and actually a living being. And she was taken aback, but by the time we were done, she got it. And, it was just an opportunity to be proactive and share some information in a situation where I would have been royally pissed off before and not been able to plant that seed, just probably got labeled uncooperative.
Well, again, in the physical sense, that's just a physical effect, and the only thing that you know to be true is you. So that's why, people can say whatever they want, feel whatever they want directed towards me. I know who I am, and I know what my intent is, And I don't need anyone to tell me what it is, because I already know. And that's where I stand. And it's as simple as continually planting the seeds to allow the potential of the intent to grow. What is your intent? Well, my intent is not to harm someone. It is to bring them into alignment with what my intent is. My intent, if I have intention of creating harm against someone, then what am I doing to myself? So it's a very tricky little road to walk, I assure you.
Because you always haven't had that clarity, and that's what we're all learning to do, is that we do have that power. And so we're learning to get clarity on just exactly how we do manifest, based starting with our intention, which we never looked at before at all.
Well, it starts with and finishes with intention. And here's the thing about assumption and presumption. If you assume the name, then it can be assumed that that is you. And that is a spiritual contract that drags you into the matrix to have a game. So have a look at the game, and how much have you learned as a result of being, by your own volition, by your own consent, being part of the game in ignorance. Representation of the spirit and physical. In which master are you going to serve? And if you serve it literally, you're owned and you're staying in a physical game, and that's okay. You can do that. Not my reality, but I'm sliding out of that particular one for those that are still stuck in it, that will not be party to what I'm working towards, and they're most welcome to. But what I saw with Opt, of course, came out right in line with the invocation of the cross. So I saw that as a physical manifestation. New I now, more so than back then. I was still looking at things quite literally, knowing the spiritual aspect, but not able to really understand it and define it and share it the way we do now, because this is a new lateral timeline. So when things, from my perspective, coincide with things in the physical, what I look for now, because this game is all about me, and that's what everyone has to learn to say. This game is all about you. It really is. And when you get that, you'll understand what I'm saying. And there's nothing selfish in that, because I don't know about you, but it's very hard for one to be selfish. Right? You don't have a concept of it because you have everything. How can you be selfish? You are everything. Right? That's just not a plausible scenario in a oneness state. Selfish and selfless can only exist in a duality state. So for me, I come back to the singularity. So getting back to the coincidence of coincidence, getting back to the coincidence, depends how you pronounce it, right? Of my sending out the invocation of the cross, December 24th, 25th, and 26th of 2012. Opt came out in mainstream on December 25th. So you can stay caught up in the literals, thinking that somehow a physical literal thing created a physical literal effect, and it did. But that's where it stays, if you stay there. So what I try to do is show you the spiritual intent behind it from my perspective, as only I can share it from my perspective. I am you and I'm not you at the same time, right? So that's what it means to be I am and I am not. That's the Aries. That's when you get to the real high ground. So it's like this. My intent when I put that out was all about recapturing of the divine feminine essence that was registered, right, to rule over. So claiming that back was, and always has been, the drive of what I do in this particular role of that I play in your movie. So I just saw that as, now I can look back at it in a contrast and see the spiritual intent that created that physical manifestation, which only further proves the shifting of realities and how much power we all wield individually. And I really want to touch on that tonight, Michael, as far as the I Dream of Genie consciousness game and the Larry Hagman master, because I think
a quick one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just reading, somebody shared it, and it was from Bringers of the Dawn, Barbara Messiniak, and she's sharing it again, that to have a child, become pregnant.
So if you can look at something from both sides, all right, you came here to play a game. I think we can all agree with that. So the whole point of existence is to have a game, purpose, and play, right? But we cannot have a game until we have a contrast, until we have something that enables us to have that game. And what a movie script, what a drama we have here on Earth, okay? And there's countless, infinite other worlds, potentials, other points of view everywhere in this universe and of the mind, having different experiences, because that's all we do as consciousness, experience ourselves. And what we're doing at this table is slowly climbing, I wouldn't say slowly anymore, but we're climbing Jacob's ladder of consciousness, where the magic daily becomes more and more visible. So let's get to the I Dream of Jeannie, because I really want to, because I love that show. I mean, Barbara Eden, oh my God, and of course Larry Hagman, another beautiful man. But I got to tell you, the whole story about I Dream of Jeannie, what made it a comedy was what we're actually playing in right now. So I can prove that this world is a comedy. All right. It's really easy. You see, Larry Hagman, as an astronaut, Air Force guy, ended up landing with his capsule. You see it in the intro. It's all in the intro. Thanks, Steve, for reminding me of the intro. And he found the bottle. He found Jeannie's bottle. Now, that is the well of consciousness that we all have access to. Okay? Every one of us has access to that well. It is infinite in every potential, every possibility, and it is where we can pull all things. That's the wishing well. And every thought is a seed that you throw into that well. I didn't say some thoughts. I said every thought. So if you have constant literal thoughts that you are casting into the absolute well of creation, then you will get the same manifestation in the literal, only a little bit more degraded. Because if you're trying to solve the problem using the same technique over and over and over again, expecting a different result, you're insane. And that's what the literal world does in order for us to have a downward spiral effect. So we can experience the angels going up the ladder and the angels coming down the ladder, as so aptly described in Jacob's ladder story, okay? The dream that he had, where he saw the face of God, and he called that place Peniel. That's the Bible, by the way. They don't teach you that in Sunday school, I don't think, anyway. But here we have Jeannie, who, as the ever-giving, always wanting to please her master, that's you, Larry Hagman, that's you. We're all Larry Hagmans here, okay? She would do everything and anything he wanted, that he wished for. And every episode was about something that Larry, I forget what his name was in the show, but what Larry Hagman wanted, Jeannie would overhear him, and then because she didn't understand the full intent of what he really meant, she would manifest.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn. You're listening to Santos Bonacci live on Syncretism, here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. As above and so below is the holy science you need to know, astrotheology, because now it's our turn.
Hey, and good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box /Syncretism / Your Reality. I love it. For those that are new to the table, I'm Kate of Gaia. Yes, what a voice for a girl, eh? Unbelievable. Anyway, you should try it out sometime. Anyway, Santo's not here yet, but I have added him to the call. He can join at any time. But I do have Michael, and we were having a chat on the earlier show today on criticalmassradio.co.uk. So, I might be able to tease Mark in here, who was on the show as well earlier today, and let's all play host, shall we? Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Aloha. Yeah, wonderful, great.
Yeah,
Happy
it's
to be
friggin'
at the table.
Yeah, I put some batteries in my mouse. That seems to have solved one of the issues anyway. So there you go. I can actually mute and unmute a little bit quicker now. That's a problem with batteries. They do wear out. But anyway.
I think it's a lot of joy coming to the table.
Oh, yeah. And given where we're at right now, and this is really the only place I want to focus on, because I'm not sure if we brought this up earlier today, but there's a very critical reason why we don't bring any sort of literal drama to this table. If anything from the literal comes to this table, it is shared allegorically. Right? Here, let's touch on something tonight that I think is worthy of touching on again to try to illustrate the spiritual versus literal, okay, the physical. And, you guys have heard me on countless occasions talking about opt and all the rest of the carrot-waving aspects to see if the spiritual intent can still be captured into a physical, literal reality that somehow the effect is the cause, which it's quite backwards. So let me give you a little overview. I'll pick on opt because I like picking on them the most, actually. They're fun, right? Headed up by a lawyer. So that was the first red flag. But anyway, people can talk about, opt shut down the banks and caused foreclosures and go on to all this literal nonsense. And all the while, they'll miss the whole spiritual intent of the game. You see, when you understand what money is, it is captured intent. That's why it's called currency. So what it is the spiritual energy that when we flow to it, we energize it. We give it our life force. And because it's exactly what he wanted in the very utmost literal way, and it was always a comedy to try to fix it. And that's what we're here doing. We are all the Larry Hagmans casting our wishes out all willy-nilly, not thinking that the genie can hear us, because genie typically, the only time that genie wouldn't manifest something for him was when he was directly in contact with her, talking to her, says, no, I don't want that. No, he would make it very clear. But as soon as she would, say, leave the room and overhear something that he said, she would take it upon herself to grant that wish. And remember, the genie will always tell you, your wish is my command. And that's what every thought is. This is why you need to get a grip on reality. Everything literal is the illusional movie. And if we are drawing things, seeds from Cain, this is Cain. Abel is genie. The earth, the physical, is the Larry Hagman. Okay? So if you're drawing from the Cain mind, the literal physical world, to make your wishes, what are you actually doing? Well, you're taking a broken calculator and you're still trying to calculate the same things, and you'll go in a spiral, and you will continue to go down until you finally wake up to what it is we share at this table, and then wait a minute, then you put the brakes on, and then you start climbing. Or not. It's entirely up to every point of consciousness. I'm not here to trespass on anybody. You see, I'll give you an example. I've been asked, well, why are you, doing your shows outside? Well, one, because I love being out here, because I've got this beautiful fire in front of me right now. Yeah, it's cold, but I got a fire. I'm golden, right? So it's beautiful. But I'll tell you, the main reason why I'm out here, and I didn't always have this option, was because where I'm at is I don't want to impose on other people's space for 2 or 3 hours, where it has to be silent. That's very, very well, to me, that's rude. That would be rude of me to expect that. That would be very selfish as far as I'm concerned. So I always look for the win-win. Now, we got a few puppies running around here, and it can get rather noisy, right? So here's the blessing and the curse at the same time. It's beautiful. So what I do then is, I can't be around that because I get knocked off the downloads very easily, because it's always tenuous at best. These are the ether connects, right? And I have to be in a very, very calm state of mind, literally silence around me, where all I am hearing is my own voice, unless we're talking, of course, Michael. So it's a win-win. So for me, I get my solitude, and I'm not imposing on others. You see, so it works out perfectly. You got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. And most of us on this planet, myself included for many years, have been walking around here like spoiled little brats. I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want... Yeah, okay. How's that work for you? Again, it's just an experience. We are children. I watched August Rush last night. I think I mentioned that earlier today. Mike, yeah?
I must have missed that part. Is that with the... it's all spiritual intent. Right there. It wasn't you just hooking up with some guy randomly. I got pregnant. No, there was spiritual intent involved. Remember. And when we have that, remember that it was our spiritual intent to have a child. Women were always conscious of that before, and will become conscious of that again.
Beautiful point. You know, what you're talking about there is the purest form of the divine feminine, creating creation with the masculine intention within. And yeah, you're exactly right. You see, the whole idea of copulation, male, female, sperm, egg getting together is a physical manifestation of what we do anyway. What's happened there is this whole notion of creation and intention has been separated. So that's the original, for me, the original sin, divide, and conquer, in that we can experience ourself from a duality perspective, where we've separated our creational womb with our intentional penis, if you will. This is one, for me, this is one of the main reasons why you see so many penises around the planet in the form of obelisks, right? These are all symbols, but they're symbols in a literal sense if you accept that. I look at them from a magnetic electric, a me perspective, only a me perspective. Do you see how critically important it is, the phonics, and understanding how easy it was to first program us? When we did it to ourselves, this is the game. So lose the vengeance. You're only beating yourself up. It's so easy to program a literal reality into a freshly born point of consciousness that comes here wiped clean, right? All former memories in that consciousness are all still there, but they're out of sight. They've been moved into the Garden of Eden, where all potentials and all possibilities are in the able right hemisphere. So yeah, that's exactly it. And it's funny you say that. What a coincidence. Because I have talked about that on previous shows, actually years ago. The female, and that's what we all start out as. Female can self-procreate, and it's happened countless times. It happens all the time. This supposed immaculate conception, but contained within the female body are all the tools required to inseminate their own egg. And this is what divine creation for me is all about. Being able to give birth to your own ideas, to give birth to your own intentions, and you keep it all within. So let's go into I really want to share this because I touched on it a bit last night, and I'm going to go over it again tonight because I really want to get this clear. And you guys had mentioned earlier today about doing videos and what have you, which definitely is something that is on my list of things to do. Because I was talking with Mike here as well, that some people learn by experience, by doing. Others learn by listening, and others learn by visuals. Right. So we definitely want to cover all the gauntlets on this, and it's one of the beautiful things about the programming of school is that it separates all of those things in order that you may experience a game.